Itadakimasu. It's 1977 and Japan is in the midst of explosive economic growth after emerging from the 1973 oil crisis and the Nixon shock of 1971. Industrial production is booming. The country is becoming the hub for electronic miniaturization, and in a year's time, the world will be set on fire with the release of Space Invaders. The Showa era was also the heyday of Kissatens, being the third place for salarymen and social movements, like the Umanribu or Women's Lib movement. It was also the year that Coffee Shop Galant opened across from Ueno Station in Taito City. Named after the Mitsubishi Galant, it's actually pronounced Gyaran in Japan and has been on the same second-floor location ever since. To get there is pretty easy. Just take a JR Yamanote line train to Ueno Station and use the Shinobazu exit and cross the street between the Yamashiroya and the Uniqlo stores, and you're practically there. Unless, of course,
I think this might be it.
Galant. Of course, it just says coffee shop. Oh, that's not right. I think Cafe Galant is down a little bit more.
Bruh.
So let's have a look. That must have been it. The big one here, that's Galant. Let's go check it out then. Located on the second floor above a 7-Eleven, there's an outdoor display of some of the foods to tantalize you. Pilaf rice, ono rice. Oh, they even have kakigori. But the climb is steep, and even though it's the middle of lunch hour, I'm quickly taken to my table with a nice view of both the trains outside and the other diners. Coffee Shop Gyaran is a throwback. From the geometric tiles to the brass chandeliers to the low-slung burgundy leather chairs that are a hallmark of Showa-era Kissatens. After being given some water and an oshibori, I'm left to ponder the menu. So this place is about as old school as it gets. Smoking everywhere, which is cool. They have a service set with beef curry, toast, and sandals. With the Neapolitan, and then we'll have coffee with that. Not that I really like coffee with spaghetti, but why not? The Neapolitan, or as it's known in Japanese, Napolitan, is a Kissaten classic and one of the hallmarks of Yoshoku, or Western-inspired Japanese food. We can trace the origins of the Napolitan to August 30th, 1945, when General Douglas MacArthur arrived in Yokohama for a 3-day stay at the new Grand Hotel. There, head chef Shigetaka Irie wanted to serve MacArthur a familiar spaghetti dish that he dubbed the Napolitan after the Italian city of Naples. And while during the war items like tomato sauce were scarce, the new Grand, being a luxury hotel, had such staples to make the dish. However, as interest in the Napolitan spread to both American GIs and Japanese citizens alike, the cheapest and most readily available option was to use ketchup. Yes, I said ketchup. Regular old American-style ketchup. I know. As someone who grew up in the United States eating spaghetti and meatballs, the idea of ketchup spaghetti sounds gross. But today, I thought I'd take the plunge. The typical Napolitan consists of soft-cooked spaghetti, ketchup, mushrooms, green peppers, sausage, and some Tabasco. For the uninitiated, it sounds weird, but people here are wild for it. There's a lot of smoking going on, so it's very classic Kissaten. But you know what? Everyone's smoking, so I brought my little Monte Cristo minis, little tiny mini cigars. There's a guy sitting across from me wearing this hat and a Hawaiian bera. He's got to be the coolest guy here. Kind of like the Japanese Raymond Reddington. I brought my iced coffee. Dark, bitter. And they've also brought some simple syrup as well as some milk, so we'll probably use some of that just to give it a little bit of sweetness and a little bit, take the edge off. It's a bit rough, it's got a bit of acidity, like I can feel the acidity in my stomach. Definitely something I want to put some sweetener and cream with. They still have bendy straws. Ooh, you gotta mix it real well because the density of the sugar tends to fall to the bottom. Ooh, that's definitely sweet. We're gonna add a little bit of the cream. Pleasant and fun. Very coffee, very like old school, like dark chocolate, milky. Makes it a lot more fun to drink. So it comes Napolitan with a little bit of salad that has looks like shredded cabbage with a little bit of shredded carrots and corn. Let's try that first since that came with it. Oh, cabbage for sure. You know, a tart Thousand Island style dressing. Not bad. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to try it without any toppings. They do have some Tabasco as well as some Parmesan. Really nicely cooked noodles, really al dente, nice and chewy. Bright, it's a little bit sweet, but it is a bright tomatoey flavor to it. You know, it has slices of ham, I think. Pretty darn good, actually. I wonder what this will taste like with a little bit of Tabasco. Put a little dollop on it. And it gives it that acidic bite. The tomato sauce itself is already bright. I think it just kind of more clashes the brightness. Now for the Parmesan, I'm gonna let it rain on this one. Now let's try. There's actually quite a big serving. This spaghetti really had that flavor like when you were a kid. And the closest thing in the United States we would have would be like a Chef Boyardee. Not as saucy as Chef Boyardee, and definitely not as soft the noodle. Oh, there's even mushrooms. Alright, that was good. Finished everything. Salad, Napolitan. So the coffee was what I would expect from a Kissaten here in Japan. You know, if I'd come to a lot of these places 10 years ago, would I have been much more like critical? It's darker roasted, it's burned, it's not perfectly clean. I think there's a lot of that goes on in our industry. After 20 plus years in the business, I tend to feel like I'm here to experience what they have decided that I should experience, right? So for me, it's all right to try these things, and it may not necessarily be Michelin star, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to be enjoyable, and I thought that was quite enjoyable overall. It's starting to rain. I probably should have gotten an umbrella. We're at Ueno Station, about to jump on the JR line back to the Yamanote. So we're going to take this over to a place called Cafe Ace and check that out next.